So this video is more of an impromptu kind of video. I'm not gonna apologize for the way that I look. I'm not gonna apologize for the messy background and just setting up the camera on my windowsill and filming, because I just want to just sit down and talk to you guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about Fletcher and testing him for MD, because this is a question I've gotten a lot. I knew that I was gonna get this question a lot, and I also knew that when we found out that Fletcher was a boy, that I was gonna definitely get this question. And just like I talked about in my Q&A video, I know that some people are being nosy, and I do know that there's a large percentage of people that genuinely care and just want to be there for our family and support us and genuinely care about us. And I think the part of the reason why I didn't want to talk about it or address it, especially very early on when Fletcher was first born, was first because it was very unknown, and second of all because of just like the past. I can't even put into words or put in one sentence the crap that I've had to deal with when it comes to Nolan and his diagnosis over the years, and sharing his whole journey and everything that he's been through, his surgeries, testing, appointments, you name it. You guys know I documented it, and I've actually taken those videos down. So any video, at least to my knowledge, I might have missed some videos because there were so many, but a good majority, a good chunk of those videos I've put on private so that nobody can longer view them, because I did want to protect his privacy. And what used to be a point in my journey with YouTube when it came to Nolan's diagnosis was, it was like a way for me to vent to you guys, was a way to be relatable, a way to relate to other women, try to get help, try to get support, and then also just be informative. And then it just turned into something way worse, and I decided to, again, take those videos down to protect Nolan and his privacy. And that's why I haven't gone into details since about how Nolan's doing, or really, you know, share on a day-to-day basis what he's doing, what we're up to, what we're doing for him because of that. So when it came to Fletcher and finding out that he was a boy, a lot of people knew that it could be genetically, what am I trying to say, potentially inherited. That's what I was looking for. Inherited, and Fletcher could have the same thing as Nolan, potentially. So of course we knew this. We know that if we had a boy, and especially after finding out that Fletcher was a boy, we were definitely going to do further testing. And it was one of those things I didn't talk about, and I didn't want to talk about just because, well, first of all, I just had a baby and I was getting those questions bombarded, but I also wanted to talk about it, well, first, if I was even comfortable talking about it on my own terms and when I felt comfortable. So we actually set up the appointment to get him tested right after he was born. And, or actually I should say like maybe a month after he was born, we got it set up, but they couldn't fit us in until 2 months later. So we made the appointment in October, and then we recently just had the genetist appointment last week, which was also a genetic appointment for Nolan as well. Now, I'm not gonna get into what they said about Nolan. All I do want to say is that we are getting further genetic testing done on Nolan. So that's in progress, and I don't know if I'm going to talk about that or share that yet. I don't know, but we are getting more testing just because there's a lot of things that aren't clear about Nolan. Now with Fletcher, we wanted to get him tested. We just didn't know how to go about it, so it was like a joint appointment for both of them. We said, you know what, we're going to do the further testing for Nolan. Now with Fletcher, what the doctor suggested, or the geneticist I should say, suggested, was checking his CPK levels. Now if you guys remember, if you've been watching me a while, that was like the huge indicator that there was something going on with Nolan, because after he had turned 1, we were getting some iffy blood results that required more testing, which was also giving us weird results. And then on the whim, his hematologist went ahead and did a full panel on him, blood panel, and actually tested randomly for his CPK levels, which if you guys don't know what they are, those are a huge indicator. Well, they could be indicators for other things like heart attacks, strokes, brain injuries, but it's a huge indicator of muscular dystrophy, I'm sorry. So with Nolan, that was a huge cue when we got those really high results for him. So then that's when we were referred to a neurologist. That's when they tested for Duchenne, and you know the rest. So being that Fletcher is 3 months old, he wanted to test his CPK levels as well. He says when babies are first born, their levels are a little elevated to begin with because of just the trauma from birth and everything that it wouldn't have made sense to test him when he was a newborn. Now that he's 3 months old, you would definitely, his words exactly, I should say, it would be a very huge indicator whether or not he has what Nolan has. If we test his CPK levels, if we see that they're high, or if we see that they're normal, that will be a huge indicator for us. And then that's when we can do like the exact genetic testing, the same testing that they did on Nolan. We were at the doctor's for 5 hours going through everything, talking about everything, just catching them up to speed, because it's been a few years and testing has changed, genetic testing has changed, a lot of things have changed, a lot of things are growing scientifically, and the testing was actually better than it was even from 2016, the last time he was at the geneticist. That's the reason why we're doing further genetic testing, to get more answers. I don't want to get into it, but there's been a lot of things left up in the air, and we're trying to pinpoint more, I guess, answers is what I'm trying to say. So we were there for a very, very long time, and Nolan had to get blood work, Fletcher had to get blood work, and they told us that we would know the next morning or the next day what those levels were. And I didn't film any of this because I really wanted, first of all, I really didn't want to document any of that because I've tried to keep that private and just keep that aspect of our family private and keep Nolan's health more private. And I just didn't feel comfortable filming that or documenting that. It's just something I just have not been comfortable with. So basically what the geneticist told us was, we'll test Fletcher at 3 months old because you could definitely tell where his levels are, his CPK levels, and then we'll also test him again at a year old just to be sure. So that's exactly what they told us. We got the blood test, they called us, and they told us that his CPK levels are normal. He said since his levels are normal, that is a good indicator that he does not have Duchenne's or any muscular dystrophy, and that once he's a year old, they'll retest him, and if they're still normal, then that is definitely a clear indication that he does not have muscular dystrophy, because like I said, high CPK levels is, you will definitely know, because the Nolan's number, let me just put it this way, the normal amount is 20 to 100, or I'm sorry, it might be 10 to 120 micrograms or milligrams, something like that. Nolan's was 10,000. So just to put that in perspective, 10 to 120. His was 10,000, and this was only a little after he was a year old. So that was a huge, huge indicator. And even at 3 months old, he said you would know as well, or you could know. But to play it safe, that he does want to get checked again at a year old. What I can say is that it's a good indicator, or more of a clear result, that he does not have muscular dystrophy. I always wanted to get him tested. I was always going to get him tested, even if it came back saying that he, you know what, he has high CPK levels. Most likely he has what Nolan has. Either way, I would just want to know. I would want to know. That way I know what would be my next step or how to handle it. I really don't even still know how I truly feel about it. I think, you know, there is a part of us that had a little bit of a sigh of relief in a way, to be completely honest. Anytime you get positive news like that, if there's, you know, your child isn't potentially at risk for something, it is a little bit of a sigh of relief. But in that same sentence, if his levels were high, it would have not mattered to me. It's not going to change my love for him. It's not going to change my devotion or my care for Fletcher, regardless. It's just so hard to speak about something that, you know, is like a what if, because I don't know how I'd be feeling right now if he also had high CPK levels like Nolan did. So I can't really say like how I'd be feeling about it. But I think that the main reason why I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about this and share this with you is because I do know that there's a large percentage of people that genuinely care for our family, and you guys have been following for such a long time. If you've been so devoted also to Nolan's journey and everything that we have gone through, and I can't thank you guys enough, because you guys know, if you guys were with me, you got me through a lot of dark times. I kind of feel like I'm in that moment again, talking to you guys, like just talking, venting. It's so therapeutic for me to like sit down and talk, and also to get you guys' input and messages and comments and love and support. It helps me so much. But then also to answer some of those questions without getting too much into detail about Fletcher's health or Nolan's health, you know, on a surface level that I feel comfortable sharing, because I know a lot of you guys do follow our family and love our family, and I can't thank you guys enough, because if it wasn't for you guys and it wasn't for YouTube, I would not be where I am right now. So I feel like there's always like a part of me that I know, like I know my limits when it comes to sharing stuff, but there's also a part of me that is so loyal to my viewers and my supporters. So I think that's also another reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this. So until Fletcher is a year old, there won't be really much to update on with how he's doing, and his geneticist feels pretty confident with his blood results. So I have so much trust in the geneticist, and I am pretty curious to see what Nolan's genetic testing results are gonna say. I don't know if I'm gonna share that yet, but I just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you for always being there no matter what. I know sometimes viewers come and go, some leave for specific reasons, but I just want to say, like, the ones that have always been there and the ones that genuinely care about our family, I appreciate and love you guys so much. And I know this is a random, like I said, impromptu video, but I do hope that you guys enjoyed it, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in our next video. Bye guys.